What is good? What is up? It's Jordan, your Texans Thoughts, and I'm back with another episode today. We are breaking down the Texans Day 3 picks. And man, I think it was another successful day. But before we get into that, if you guys enjoy, please do hit that like button. And you can subscribe on YouTube and also find the audio version on the Believe in Texans podcast and all your typical podcast platforms. Alrighty, y'all, let's get right into it. So, with their fourth round pick, the Texans took the running back I've been screaming for them to take for so long, Dameon Pierce out of Florida. And I wanted Pierce badly because I thought he was a great value. I thought he was someone that you could take in the fourth round, as opposed to a Breece Hall or Kenneth Walker, who we would have needed to take in the second. But now we get high caliber players like Jalen Petrie and John Mechie in the second, and we still get a top running back in Pierce. Pierce was my running back 3 this year and someone who fits the Texans' identity on offense. We want to be this ground and pound, run the ball team that controls the clock, and the additions of Kenyon Green and Dameon Pierce now, that will help us do that. So Pierce is your typical bruising back who runs with violence. He's got great vision to find the hole and stellar contact balance to break tackles. I guarantee Pierce will be a fan favorite because of how he leaves it all out on the field, and he'll give some pretty great quotes in press conferences too. I would give this pick an A+ because he was my top running back on the board from who was available. And I think Pierce has the talent to take the running back 1 role for our offense, even as a rookie. At the very least, I think he'll be a great committee back with Marlon Mack and Rex Burkhead. Before we get into our next pick, I have a message from BetOnline. Our partners at BetOnline continue to be the #1 source for all your betting needs and sports info. Find all of the latest sports developments, including updated odds on the NBA playoffs, fights, and even next season's futures. And don't forget that the MLB is back as well. Who are you picking to win the World Series? BetOnline is your continued source for all your sports wagering needs, including live betting and your favorite Vegas casino and poker games. It's super easy to get started, so head to the website today or use your mobile device to join and use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts. So moving on to our next pick, and the Texans traded a 5th and a 6th rounder to secure their guy, Thomas Booker, out of Stanford. Booker is the quintessential Nick Caserio player. He's a 2-time team captain, 2-time all-academic achiever, and won the senior class award for the top student athlete. Booker is insanely smart off the field and on it as well. I would highly recommend watching this interview with the Bootleg Football podcast to get a feel for Booker and understand, why he's talked about as like a coach on the field. Looking past the mental side of things, though, Booker is also a just very talented football player. He tested as one of the most athletic defensive tackles this year, running a 4.95 40, a 1.68 10-yard split, and a 7.33 3-cone drills, all of which were elite for his size and position. So we've got a very smart and athletic defensive tackle here, and what Booker provides in terms of his skill set is a very disciplined run defender who's always in the right position and will always do his job. Because Booker's so athletic and so smart, he's able to read run plays well and play his gap. Whether he's lined up as a nose tackle, a 4-3 defensive tackle, a 3-4 defensive end, Booker has been successful. He also has that versatility that we know the coaches like. So I think Booker fits perfectly as a backup to Malik Collins for now, providing a fresh body that will help Lovie rotate his defensive line. And that depth will make everyone on the D-line better off. I love this pick as well. I'd give it an A-, only because of the extra pick that we had to give up to go get Booker. Now with our next 5th round pick, we took a tight end out of Oregon State, Tegan Quitoriano. And I won't lie to y'all, I did not watch Tegan like I've watched all of our other picks. But after doing some research, I think this was a decent pick. He is Dane Brugler's 20th ranked tight end. Listed at 6'5", 258 pounds. He's your typical inline blocking tight end. Do the dirty work, right? That's his bread and butter, getting physical in the trenches and helping pave lanes on the ground. Tegan's also someone who will add value on special teams, playing over 600 special team snaps throughout his career. And Tegan also has some solid hands. He's had registered no drops in 2021. Now, with all this being said, he's a 5th round pick. So I wouldn't expect too much out of him early on, especially because tight ends historically take a bit longer to develop than other positions. But I like the idea of this pick, as we needed a blocking tight end to pair with Brevin Jordan. So hopefully Tegan is, a late round gem. And I would kind of grade this pick, maybe a C+. I think there are better players on the board. Tight ends like Derek Beast or Jalen Weidermeyer. They're a bit more proven talents in my opinion. But all in all, I can definitely get behind this pick. Rounding out our draft class in the 6th round is LSU offensive lineman Austin Deculus. Deculus is a very, very experienced player with 47 starts to his name, 46 coming at right tackle and 1 coming at left tackle. He's been praised for his toughness, playing through multiple injuries over his career and setting the LSU record for games played with 61 in total. Deculus, he's not the greatest athlete in the world, and that will limit his ceiling and potentially move him inside to guard, where some NFL teams view him as best. But what Deculus does bring is the physical run blocking that we need. He's a good fit for Pep's power run scheme and someone who should be viewed as a backup with potential starter potential at guard. After a few years of development, that is. So I'd give the Deculus pick a B-. I thought there were, better offensive linemen available, but he fits the scheme and has a relatively high floor because of his starting competition versus the SEC. All right, so overall, day 3 provided some great value for the Texans, especially with Pierce and Booker. I'd expect those two to get a fair share of playing time early on, barring injuries. But really the theme of this day seemed to be adding tough, physical players who leave it all out on the field and play hard. And I don't know about you, but I love that. I think that's something this team has been missing, some of that grit, some of that toughness, and we're gearing up to play bully ball. I love it. Well, that's going to do it for me. I will have film breakdowns of each of these picks coming soon, except for maybe Quitoriano and Deculus. But I don't know. If you guys like the film breakdowns, support them well, then definitely I'll think about doing those 2 guys. I'll get back to my regular setup and the regular streams here in a few days, so be on the lookout for that. And let me know in the comments what you guys thought of these picks and which film breakdowns you would like to see first. Stingley, Kenyon Green, Jalen Petrie, whoever. Leave it in the comments. Alrighty, take care everyone, and remember, the film don't lie.